Yemi Teller, like the likes of Peter Rufai, a lot of people, legends. And of course, we still have some living legends, the likes of Shegun Adegbomi and all of that. But of course, we have to celebrate these guys. Good one for Festus Adegboye Onigbinde. And of course, we have Maiwa. Yeah, Maiwa Alao has joined us on the show. And Maiwa, just before I was talking about Coach Onigbinde, who has recently passed away, I was talking about the Champions League. Of course, there are a lot of games, to look forward to tonight. And of course, the FA Cup draws are also out. Which one is, giving you a little bit of excitement, tonight? And of course, let me say in general, which one is giving you some excitement before we go into all the stories today? Good evening, Maiwa.
Well, it's always it's always amazing to be here, and condolences to our man Jerry. I hope God gives him the fortitude to bear the terrible loss. My thoughts and prayers are with him. The one that is giving me a whole lot of headache. My wife and I have been bantering about how unfair Man City has gotten. I've been in this particular season. They've been drawn against the Liverpool side. They escaped Newcastle. Now they have to battle with a Liverpool side. So
that's what it is. If you want to win the quadruple, that's what you get. You have to beat what's in front of you.
But are they going to win the quadruple? I thought there are seven, and I think it might seem as though
7 points with about 8 games to play is still a lot. It's small. You can still patch it up.
Well, I mean, if you look at their performance, they've been struggling. They've not been scintillating so far. So I mean, you will not want to give it to them. It's not the same Man City that won the league some couple of years ago. They are rebuilding, and that takes it to how do you not beat a Nottingham Forest? That game, you could see the lapses, you could see the frailties of Man City, and that shows that I don't think they might cut it this season, except something bad happens to us. For the Champions League, I'm always, rooting against Liverpool. Since I'm not in Europe, Liverpool team was joining me in sitting down at home. But in any case, I'm looking forward to Osimhen versus,
Liverpool
versus Alisson, and I want to see what Osimhen and Okambu side can do. So interesting games, but those are the 2 picks for me, if you would ask me.
Yeah, for some certain reasons, for now, Maiwa, you should rest on Liverpool, right? We have to support.
Yeah, for sure.
You have to rest on Liverpool for now. Sure. Let's celebrate football. When he's fully back, of course, you know where to catch him. I was just talking about Coach Adegboye Onigbinde, who passed away at the age of 88. Definitely a legend, of course. And I remember the 2002 World Cup. I think that's like the freshest memory I have of him. The 2002 World Cup. Yes, it was rather uneventful. But I mean, even the Afcon, yes, we saw that as well. A lot he has done. 1984, leading Nigeria to silver medal, and of course, World Cup history as well. What's your, freshest memory, or let me say your best memory about this man as regarding Nigerian football as we go through his life and times, Maiwa?
Well, apart from the 1984 final that we ended up losing, I mean that loss is still very painful to me anytime I remember it. But in any case, let's leave that alone. I think it's one of those people that ensured that my slot is not a thing in our national team.
Yes.
Remember, yes, a whole lot of people might criticize him, and I myself I criticize him because of Bartholomew Ogbeche went to that World Cup because of the scissors kick. Yes, I'll put that out there. A lot of people are criticizing. Yeah. Sometimes you might get some pick wrong. However, he was the one that gave a Vincent Eyama the opportunity. If it was not Onigbinde,
and we saw how we turned out.
Maybe we not. Yeah, probably we might not hear of Vincent Eyama. He believed in Vincent Eyama. That's number one. Number 2, he was able to create competition in our team. He was able to create competition. If you are not playing regularly, you don't have any business with the national team. That is not the case at the moment. If you are not doing so well for your club, you will not, you will not have a place in national. Yes, I understand the fact that he had to do away with the likes of Olise and the rest of that. I know a whole lot of them might not appreciate him. But as a coach, he was able to make tough decisions, and the tough decision led to competitiveness in our team. Yes, we didn't do it in that World Cup. It happened that way. However, if you look at how our team was leading to that World Cup and what he was able to do during that short period, I think he's a very great man. And he's one of those that, that advocates for the betterment of our football. It's just so unfortunate that voices like that, they are no more at the moment, and voices like that were not given the opportunity, to be able to run football at the fullest. In the same time, people like Onigbinde should have had the opportunity to run Nigerian football. I think if he had that opportunity, we will not be in this mess at the moment.
With what he has done, with what he did, for Nigerian football, unfortunately, he's late now. Is it safe to call him the last great indigenous manager that Nigeria had?
Well, I think, the world is not ending now, so we can't say the last.
For now.
Well, if you say last indigenous manager, probably we will categorize it this way: the last indigenous manager that nobody could influence, nobody could.
Okay. It's like we're having some network issues with Mayowa, and of course, you can say he's one of the last indigenous managers that nobody could influence. Okay, Mayowa,
will not give you the opportunity. Nobody could tell him that. I think, what I'm saying is, I said he will be the last indigenous manager that nobody could bully, because we see what the current NFL people we have now due to our local managers. Our local managers, they don't have the backing, and a lot of people might come at me for going at Osimhen again. That is the reason why Osimhen will have the boldness to insult Finidi George and nothing will happen. When Onigbinde came in, the likes of Olise and the rest of them that were feeling too big for the team, he chased them out. And we went to that World Cup with people who are much more competitive. So I think I would say probably the last manager, the last local manager that we have that the NFF cannot bully. Well, the one that's not in there, maybe another manager will come along. But for now, I think it's the only indigenous manager that I've seen that the power brokers and the power makers could not bully to do their bidding.
Mayowa, can you see it as a case of what goes around comes around now? Because you mentioned the likes of Osimhen, with the issue he had with Finidi George. Finidi George was also somebody known to call out his tactics. That's talking about Adigboye Onigbinde. They called out his tactics. He was left out of the squad 2002 World Cup. Is it a case of a certain bit of karma happening now? Because you should have learned from the manager, and now you're a manager yourself, and look at what you've become.
Well, I don't think so. And the reason is these are two different things, right? When Onigbinde came in, he banished all those boys. He felt they were a mafia. None of them actually played under him.
Were they not?
So, I mean, no. Well, you might categorize them as a mafia. However, since I'm not under you as a coach, since you are not my coach directly, I can give my opinion. So that is the reason why I will not fault, I will not want to fault a Finidi George. Do I support, coming out to speak against your manager? No, I do not support it in any way. In any climate, I will never support it. However, the case of Osimhen, and two, Finidi George did not go to social media and was saying derogatory things about Onigbinde. Sorry, Finidi George don't go on social media and was saying derogatory things about Onigbinde.
Yeah, maybe there was no social media.
He was saying
there was no social media at the time.
Finidi criticized his tactics, and we have seen players do that.
Yeah.
Osimhen attacked Finidi George personally, and this is almost 2 years now. Osimhen has not been punished. So these are two different things. These are two different things, and it's because, and if it were Onigbinde that was the coach, Osimhen would not dare do that.
True.
Because you can't even bully and Onigbinde rather leave the job for you than being bullied or being ridiculed the way Osimhen ridiculed Finidi George.
Absolutely. And what do you think are the current coaches, especially the ones in the MPFL, or let me say even in the NNL? Because anytime Nigeria has like an issue at maybe a World Cup or an Afcon, we're always saying you have to go back to the drawing board, especially under a foreign coach. We want our indigenous managers, and we've seen what this man did with the Super Eagles as an indigenous, coach. What do you think these coaches could pick from the life and times of Adigboye Onigbinde regarding Nigerian football?
It's very simple. Don't be corruptible. If Onigbinde was give me envelope so that I can play you, or before you come to my camp, you need to roll me. He would not be respected. He would have been bullied. See, let's be honest with ourselves. in as much as we say, in as much as we know that the NFL do not give our local coach backing, some of our local coaches, they've soiled their hands. They've soiled their hands. There was a particular coach that was doing so well, and FIFA found him guilty of collecting bribe, and he was banned. He even came on there to start soliciting for money. I don't want to mention his name. He has come to the studio before, but I mean, if he was not found guilty, FIFA will not ban him. FIFA will not ban him. So, and this was a top coach for Nigeria. As much as good as he is, we found his hand in the cookie jar. And according to FIFA, because I mean FIFA found him guilty, and that's why they issued him a ban. The same goes for all these coaches. I can give you a typical example. The last one of the family is almost 40 now. When he was 15, he wanted to be part of the under-17 camp. Do you know what chased that boy away?
Money.
They told us to bring $10,000 for him to feature for. That was what ended his footballing career. That was how he gave football.
For a 16-year-old.
Yeah.
It's a shame. It's a shame stuff like that is still happening. It's still happening in 2026, Maiwa.
And the coach is still alive. He's still roaming around. He's still very close to the corridor of power. Sometimes when I see news about the coach, I don't want to mention his name, so we don't start trouble.
Yeah.
I don't want to mention his name because I mean, I don't want to start trouble.
Yeah.
Because it was not recorded. You start saying he's a lie, blah blah blah.
Yeah, of course.
But we know. And that coach, anytime I see him, I can't mention his name. I'm always not praying for him because he ended the career of a promising young Nigerian. And this is the list goes on. And that is the reason why somebody in the glass house can come and bully you. That's the reason why a player can stand up and challenge you. Because the Yorubas will say, meaning they've messed themselves up and people are beginning to insult them. So I think for our coaches, they need to emulate what Onigbinde has done. He was incorruptible, and that was the reason why nobody could force his hand to do what he doesn't want to do.
And do you think we are going to get there with these coaches that we have?
Well, I think, and I don't want to digress away from football. Yeah. I think whatever we are seeing now is a reflection of the society. An average Nigerian will say, let me just get there and pack my own. And that's a reflection of what we are seeing in the glass house. A whole lot of them is just there to pack my own. And it trickles down to the coach. And, this has a ripple effect. This also is because of the kind of economic situation we find ourselves. How many of our current coaches in the FPFL, the 20 of them, apart from, I don't want to mention the brand, the only one that is in the Southwest here, in Ogun State, that actually pays that take care of their welfare very well, how many of our coaches are not being owed? If you are being owed money and you have family, you have children to feed, you have asset to pay, and somebody decides to give you an envelope of $1,000, you will do and undo. You will mess up yourself. So a whole lot of things we are seeing is a reflection of our society, and that's the reason why people are corrupt.
Well, beyond his national team achievements, Onigbinde was recognized as a pioneer of indigenous coaching in Nigerian football. His contributions extended to mentoring coaches for the Confederation of African Football and FIFA, where he actively supported football development initiatives across Africa. And his family has indicated that details regarding his funeral arrangements will be announced at a later date. I mean, we lost also the likes of Shuaibu Amodu, Stephen Keshi, and now Adegboye Onigbinde. Well, these are people that actually contributed a lot to Nigerian football, and we could see their results in recent times, even though we are back, to where I think they wouldn't like at this point, bringing players, from abroad, maybe born abroad and saying they should come and play for Super Eagles of Nigeria. Why are we not still growing players from our own local league? And speaking of the local league, MPFL action, we saw Ahmed Musa scoring again, and Rabiu Ali at 44 or 45 is still playing football. Do you think he still has, let me say, a glimmer of hope with the Super Eagles, in the future, Maiwa?
Rabiu Ali at 44. Now I do this quotation mark at 44. Still scoring in the league is very, very impressive. Yeah. We know Rabiu Ali, I'm not trying to accuse you of anything about your 45 age, but we know in our league, if you say you are 20, we know we had 7 years to that, you are 27.
But it can't possibly be more than that. Well. It's 44. It can't possibly be more than that.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying anything apart from that. We have a 15-year-old goalkeeper court that's a 15-year-old that is doing check. We have them. So, I mean, I'm not saying anything against that. But on a much more serious note, I think it's good that we are seeing people, have a whole lot of longevity. Costa Kuta played till he was 45. Zubu Zerata played till he was in his late 40s. Dino Zov, the great Italian goalkeeper of Spain 82, played till he was 47 before he retired. I think it's good if you take care of yourself. If you take care of yourself, definitely, you have a lot of longevity. And this is a lesson for the younger ones. Most of the time, we see players, hanging their boot at 35, 32. I think what you put in determines your longevity, and it's a good one that, is scoring goals. For the national team, I think it's good for the national team. But I mean, he's playing locally, and for Chan, it should be a regular feature in the Chan. He brings a lot of experience and still scoring the goals. Why not, make him part of an integral part of the Chan team, so that he can probably bring in his experience and, pass it on to the younger ones.
The Nigerian Football Federation, NFF, and of course, National Sports Commission, NSC, they have returned their tributes for the late Festus Adegboye Onigbinde. And of course, here I'm also saying rest in peace to the man. Good job he has done for Super Eagles, and hopefully these people here now will carry it on. And still sticking with Nigerian football, the NFF, yes, Nigerian Football Federation, has denied reports linking Super Eagles coach Eric Sekushel to Moroccan club Wydad AC of Morocco, and calling it fake news. And the media officer, Promise Efoge, dismissed the claim, stating Shell is focused on his task with the national team. And this isn't the first time Shell has been linked to another coaching job, despite having a year left on his contract. Maiwa, like I said, is getting boring now, of course. Yes, Shell this, Shell that. Is he going to stay with the Super Eagles? The friendlies are coming up. Who are the players he's looking to bring? We are looking to see his squad. But of course, he's still being linked with clubs. And of course, the man with the 19-point agenda, it looks like after he submitted the agenda and is even still surprised that he leaked out, he still doesn't know where he stands with the Super Eagles. And clubs, of course, they are aware of this. They are just, sneaking in to see what's going on. Don't you think it's high time for Eric Shell to start considering, other teams? Since where he is, and he has a one-year contract with the NFF, where he is right now, they are not talking about, extending his contract for now. Don't you think it's time for him to start considering other clubs just to develop his career and boost his CV?
Well, it's very simple. If they have a long-term plan for HL, they should have extended this contract by now. It should not be having 1 year left. 1 year left means you are not really interested. Somebody that got you a bronze medal at the last Afcon, you just have 1 year left and you are not doing anything about it. That's number one. Number two, as the NFF, I don't know, please correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think I've seen any press release from the NFF to confirm that they've met the 19-point agenda. Because the 19-point agenda, I think, is the basic thing any coach should ask. And there is nowhere the NFF has come out that they have met all these requests. It means Chelsea continues to work, under a very terrible condition, and you want him to succeed. So if other teams are interested in him, and the negotiation goes right, I think I've said before, a lot of people think it's a joke. The day HL will leave the Super Eagles, the NFF and their team will find out when they are unveiling him. Find out. Remember Finidi George, his resignation on social media. NFF said they found out on social media. Yeah. So probably maybe NFF will find out on social media when the HL finally leaves. Because, I mean, you are not talking about you are not addressing the 19-point agenda. You are coming out to say it's fake news. How will a sensible person want to stay and work under a very strenuous condition when there are other clubs that are interested, there are other nations that are interested in him that will give him what he wants? So I think if the NFF does not come out and address this 19-point agenda, I will not be surprised if HL decides to pull the rug under the feet of the NFF and go to another country or club.
But the World Cup is, is on the horizon, and there are still some countries going to the World Cup, African countries that are yet to even announce new coaches, right? And maybe Eric Chell should be considering any of these jobs if they come on offer, because even in Angola, they are a team that are promising him about double of his current salary with the Super Eagles. And we know that Angola, they don't have any history of them owing, any of their coaches. Maybe it's time, if an Angola can come, maybe a certain Ivory Coast, if they're looking for a coach, maybe they can also come and poach the man.
Well, I think there's also news of Wajagi also leaving. If he has not left,
it's been replaced. It's been replaced, by the way, with the under-20 coach.
Yeah. So I mean, under-20 coach for national team. I think that there's a couple of countries, and as it is now, we are not sure where FIFA is going to swing. It seems FIFA is going to swing the DR Congo way. It seems World Cup is not sure for us. So I mean, if any of these countries offers him a job, definitely he's going to take it, because he has proven that he's a world-class coach. He has not lost a game in 90 minutes. All the game he has lost is via penalties, and we know penalties is a game of anybody. How do you have that kind of coach, NFF? And the NFF are listening. They don't know what they are doing. And you allow him to have 1 year left on his contract. How do you do that? And you allow him, and you are publishing his 19-point agenda, rather for you to address it behind the scene and not let us know, and try to bring it to the public space. It shows how clueless these guys are. And I will not be surprised if any of this World Cup bound team snap him up, and we are seeing Excel in the World Cup. It will not be bad to say Excel at the World Cup. He has done so well, and I think he deserves, a better country that has a good football on their head, better than Nigeria.
If Excel leaves, that will be devastating for some of these players, because I think they've already taken to him, and some of them are even seeing some sort of future, in the Super Eagles, playing for the Super Eagles. They're already seeing some sort of future going forward. But if he leaves now, it's like that future might just be bleak. And Maiwa, you said something about FIFA swinging the DR Congo way. I mean, we've been raving over this matter for a long time. Is it going to be Nigeria? Is it going to be the Democratic Republic of Congo for the Intercontinental Playoffs? But I also mentioned something about maybe FIFA is actually not considering the NFF's petition, because Iraq, spoke to FIFA and said, look, they wrote to FIFA and said, because of what is going on in the Middle East at the moment, that they are seeking to postpone the Intercontinental Playoffs. And FIFA gave them an answer immediately that, look, we can't postpone this one. We just have to get what is going on sorted. And if possible, you are going to play in that tournament, that we can't postpone it. Immediate response. If FIFA can, immediately respond to Iraq, why not the NFF with what is going on? Because does this really mean that, look, we saw what you brought, but there's no point, and we have to go on with DR Congo, Maiwa?
No, I think it's just responsible for FIFA not responding. But I still feel they will respond. It is their responsibility to respond. They are educators here, and they should be able to respond whether they are rejecting it or not.
So what's making it difficult, Maiwa? What's making it difficult? If they can respond to something written by Iraq about Iraq's participation in the same tournament, why not the NFF?
For the Iraq, hold on. Nigerian case is different. We are trying to go from the back door. Iraq is certified, qualified for that particular playoff. So person will get a ticket. Yeah. And person will get the beg for tickets. There are two different people now. If you have the tickets, you enter. You go get tickets, you beg for tickets. They won't answer you. So our own cases, you are begging for tickets. Iraq has been confirmed to be part of those that will play in the playoff.
Yes.
Nigeria, we don't know. So I mean, if I were FIFA, I would quickly respond to Iraq, because if Iraq puts that would be disastrous for FIFA. They will have to start shuffling and just so I'll quickly respond to Iraq. Nigeria, whether they respond to us or not, we already know there is DR Congo on their website. The picture of DR Congo is there. So now we beg for tickets, and beggars don't have choice. We just have to wait. But at least
how long?
It is important that FIFA listens and give us a response, whether it's a yes or a no. It is their responsibility, and if they do not give us a response, I think NFF will be right to take FIFA to task.
But what do you think is going to come out of CAS? Because it's FIFA. What if they give that response after the tournament?
It will be useless, and that's the reason why we need to approach CAS right now. If the NFF are thinking straight, I think it should be in CAS at the moment.
Okay, let's see what's going to come out of that, because Nigeria potentially missing the World Cup is going to have a lot of effects. And well, it's currently having one because Borussia Dortmund's midfielder Kane Chukwuemeka has decided to represent Austria at the senior level. opting out of playing for England or Nigeria. And born in Austria to Nigerian parents and raised in England, Chukwuemeka was eligible for all three countries but had previously represented England at various youth levels. Austria's aggressive pursuit of Chukwuemeka has paid off, with FIFA approving his switch of allegiance, and he could make his Austria debut this month and is likely to be included in their squad for the upcoming World Cup. And Nigeria's Super Eagles coach Eric Schell has expressed interest in Chukwuemeka, but Austria's qualification for the World Cup gave them an edge in securing his commitment. Maiwa, I know you are always, advocating and saying that, look, you don't want anybody to take Nigeria as second choice. But don't you think if Super Eagles had qualified for the World Cup, it would have given them an extra edge to poach, this young, promising midfielder? Because, we remember he played for Chelsea. He's currently at Borussia Dortmund. And yes, he's getting into the team and playing well. And of course, we know how, porous, places are in Nigeria's midfield. Maybe this man could come in and give an extra edge. But now, he has expressed interest to play for Austria. Yes, England also qualified for the World Cup, but we know that for now, getting into that English midfield, is looking bleak right now. But Austria is much more possible, and even the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Don't you think now that the NFF can look at this and push for the World Cup qualification even more? Because look at what Austria had gotten for themselves, a certain young, promising midfielder, just because they qualified for the World Cup.
Well, the answer I'm going to give you might surprise you.
Yeah.
If you are not good enough to feature for the English national team, you are not good enough for Nigeria. That's number one. Number two, he was only interested in the prospect of Nigeria going to the World Cup. And these are the kind of things I don't want to see.
Is Alex Iwobi good enough to play for Super Eagles? Because Alex Iwobi didn't get into the English national team. Even Ademola Lookman.
But those two guys, Ademola Lookman switched and he won the Afcon Footballer of the Year. That's number one. Number two.
Okay.
Those two people you have mentioned, they suffered through the qualifiers. Where was Chukwuemeka when we were struggling in the qualifiers? Where was he? He was not there. Where was he at the Nations Cup? He was not there. He's only interested in playing for Nigeria because of the prospect of going to the World Cup. And I do not. And these are the kind of things I don't want to see. If we go and play for Austria and leave Nigeria alone, we should not be doing this to people who have invested their sweat and tears into the national team. Chukwuemeka wants to come and reap where he did not sow, and that's not the right message to send to players who are trying to make the national team.
But there was no Eric Chell. Eric Chell came, in the latter part of the qualifiers, and he was already talking, to Chukwuemeka. Maybe he didn't get a response quickly at that time, and now, since Nigeria did not qualify for the World Cup and he saw Austria, don't you think he made a good choice?
Well, for him, good luck to him. His choices were selfish choices. Austria is going to the World Cup. That is the reason why he's going with Austria. If Nigeria had qualified and we are not trying to go through the back door, he would have said he wanted to play for Nigeria.
But we're letting Nigerian ball player. We're letting Nigerian ball player now see other teams that are going to the World Cup and is eligible to play for them. Do you think he's going to pick the Super Eagles at this time?
If I've said it consistently, I'm not a big fan of our NFF. They annoy me, they disgust me sometimes. If you will not choose Nigeria as number one, then don't come. It's as simple as that. If he was that good and was able to get into the English squad, he would not even consider Austria. So because he was not good enough, and Nigeria is not going to the World Cup, he decided to stick to Austria. I've said it consistently. If you will not choose Nigeria as number one, there is no point, because all these fair weather people, when the going gets tough, they will quickly quit and go. They will not stay the long haul. They will not. They can play 1 or 2 matches and say they are tired and they want to go. I mean, let me give a typical example. And I'm not a fan of, Ademola Lookman because of how he joined Nigeria. He didn't have the chance in England. That's why he came to Nigeria just but at least he has come to Nigeria now and he's doing so well. And Ademola Lookman will show up for Nigeria irrespective of the clueless people we have running our football. And it will be. We show up for Nigeria irrespective of the clueless people we have running our football. They will owe them money. They will owe them this. They will owe them that. But those boys will still show up. Will Chukwuemeka do that? Somebody that is shuffling around and looking for a team that's going to the World Cup? No, you cannot even rely on him. So he should stay where he is and not take his. He should stay where he is. He's not fit to play for Nigeria and he should not come. We don't need him.
All right. That's a damning one from my one. But well, let's talk about the Nigerian player, True and True. Yes, Paul Onuachu has continued his impressive scoring run for Trabzonspor in the Turkey League, netting a brace in their 3-1 win over Kayserispor in the Turkish Super League. And the Nigerian striker opened the scoring with a header and doubled the lead from the penalty spot, helping Trabzonspor maintain pressure on league leaders Fenerbahce and Galatasaray. And Onuachu's goals have seen him break a 14-year club record, becoming the first Trabzonspor player to score in 7 consecutive league matches, equaling Burak Yilmaz's achievement in the 2011-2012 season. And the 31-year-old forward has scored 22 goals and provided 2 assists this season, making him crucial to coach Fatih Tekke's side. And Onuachu's scoring streak includes goals against the top teams and is involved in nearly 40% of Trabzonspor's 51 league goals. And his form has made him one of the most decisive forwards in European football this season, driving Trabzonspor's push for domestic success and a Champions League spot. And Trabzonspor dominated the reverse fixture against Kayserispor, winning 4-0, with Onuachu contributing a goal and an assist. And his sustained scoring form is a key factor in Trabzon's title challenge. I mean, good one for Paul Onuachu, but I've seen recent news that say he should move to other top teams in Europe. But we saw what happened when he switched, from the Turkish league to England. He played at Southampton, got relegated with the team to the championship, and of course, maybe he saw that the championship was not a good weather for him, and he went back to Turkey, and he's doing well. Quickly, Mayowa, do you think he should make another move again, or he should be careful and say, look, maybe I found where I can dominate instead of switching to another league, maybe one of the top 5 leagues in Europe. Let me just stay here and do what I can for Trabzonspor.
Well, he's 31, and let's not deceive ourselves. His quality is good enough for Trabzonspor, but will his quality be good enough for other top clubs in top league? I don't think so. How many clubs want to pay an extra amount on him at 31? I don't think. I think he should stay in Turkey and probably enjoy himself there. I think there are also rumors that Al-Ahly of Saudi Arabia, they're also interested in, they want to pay 13 billion or thereabouts on him. I think he should stay in Turkey and probably continue to cut his teeth in Turkey. But moving to another top 5 league will be another pressure. He has done that before. It did not work out. He's 31. He's closing to retirement. Let him just enjoy his football in Turkey. And when he's done in Turkey, probably goes to Saudi Arabia. There's no point, moving to any major top clubs again that might probably struggle. We saw him struggle in Southampton, and that also affected his place in the national team. At the moment where he is right now, he's doing so well, and he has a solid spot in the national team. I think he should continue to stay there. Trabzonspor are also looking to enter to go to Europe with this kind of performance, and you might probably see him play in Europe next season also.
I don't know where Paul Onuachu still has a decision to make if another club is coming for him. But just like Mayowa said, maybe he should stay at Trabzonspor. He's doing well, even now scoring Nigeria's number 1 for striker Victor Osimhen. Doing well also for Galatasaray, but of course, the man of the moment is Paul Onuachu, doing well for Trabzonspor. Trabzonspor, I still saw players like Stefan Savic, former Manchester United and Manchester City, and Atletico Madrid, a central defender. Also doing well for the Turkish club, and they are looking to push Fenerbahce and Galatasaray, for the Turkish league. Good one for Paul Onuachu. But Mayowa, let's quickly talk about something that is on the dark side of football. We enjoy our football every day. We see 2 teams going up against each other, giving us goals, giving us drama, even the VAR. But players being involved in betting scandals. We saw recently Amaso Basoge is now cleared by his club, the Singida Black Stars in Tanzania. Has been cleared now of all betting allegations and charges. We saw what happened with Maduka Okoye, even the likes of Sandro Tonali in England and all of that. But this time around, it's happening in the MLS. Major League Soccer MLS has taken decisive action against 2 players involved in the betting scandal. Midfielder Derrick Jones and Ghanaian winger Yor Yeboah have received lifetime bans, and of course the banned players have placed bets on various aspects of matches, including one instance where Jones bets on receiving a yellow card in a Columbus Crew match against the New York Red Bulls in October 2024, a prediction that came true. And investigators suspect that Jones and Yeboah may have shared confidential information with other bettors, potentially influencing their betting decisions. And despite the bans, MLS found no evidence that the betting activities directly impacted the outcome of any matches. And Jones, who's 29, has been released by Columbus Crew, while Yeboah, who's 28, had left Los Angeles FC and joined the Chinese side Qingdao Ainu from the league. I mean, Maiwa, it's rearing its ugly head again, and this time around with African players majorly. Yeboah is Ghanaian, used to play for LAFC, and now is with Chinese side Qingdao Ainu. You might say he played for them, but he has received a lifetime ban from the MLS. He can never return to the league, and he's only 28. Why is this still? I mean, on the funny side, on the lighter note, Maiwa, these players are making a lot of money being paid by their clubs. But why are they still going? Why are they still going into betting? When the Sandro Tonali issue came out, I'm like, Sandro Tonali is someone who earns a lot at Newcastle. Why is it like an addiction that they just can't get out from? Why? What is going on with these players, and betting scandals?
Well, the Yorubas will say, "Olowo kintolowo." You can never be satisfied.
They should be,
and it's because of greediness. They can't be. I mean, if you have 1 billion, you want to make another. You want to have another 1 billion to make it 2 billion, and that's it. It's more of how you can control your greediness and your appetite. But the thing is this: I think football needs to go very hard on these footballers, and this has a ripple effect. Sometimes, I think there was a particular time, I think sometimes last year, it became a buzz on X that all the top teams decided to lose on that Saturday. And there were a lot of people that have invested their hard-earned money, lost money. I can't remember that. I can't remember, maybe it was late in the season or early in the season, but it was sometime 2025. It threatened on X everywhere around the world. And this is not the first time we have seen players make arrangements with, all these bettors and the rest of that, with all these bookmakers to throw a game. I think football is not doing enough. Life ban is not it. Giving them 8-month ban is not it. I think there's been much more stringent. The moment you are caught, you are banned for your lifetime across the globe. You will not be able to play anything.
Not just one league, across the globe.
Does not affect the Chinese league. You continue to play in the Chinese league. Yeah, across the globe. Then you should be jailed. Lengthy jail time. If you are caught, you should at least face a minimum of 20 years imprisonment after being banned globally. Because a lot of people don't understand this thing. In as much as, I always tell people, I would prefer you not to bet at all. But if you are betting, please bet responsibly. We have people who have committed suicide because they lost their money to betting. So these people are invariably killing people indirectly because of fixing matches. So I think the punishment needs to be much more stringent, and the consequences should be much more greater than what we see at the moment in order to stop this scandal from continuing to rise. Every season we hear about this, but it doesn't stop.
I mean, it's so sad, and maybe on the lighter note again, maybe they should leave betting, for the fans out there that are just trying to make some money. The investors should not even be the players, playing the game, because you will directly influence what is going to, come out. I mean, what happened with Maduka Okoye said he bets on his own team, on himself to even get the yellow card, and it happened, and he was suspended. How will you bet on yourself to get the yellow card, and you can do it? He's just holding the ball for too long, and that's a yellow card.
Imagine
time wasting is a yellow card.
Imagine an investor saying Maduka Okoye does not get a yellow card because the goalkeeper.
I mean, and
Maduka Okoye decides to get a yellow card. Imagine the investor has sold all his he had to bet, in as much as I would not bless anybody to do that. Yeah. Imagine that. So I mean, the punishment needs to be very, very stringent. If you are caught, the consequences needs to be very, very hard.
Yeah, I want to take you to a situation in Brazil. I mean, we saw what happened with in the Mineral Cup final between Cruzeiro and Atletico Mineiro. I mean, I want to link this now. First of all, we are saying no to violence. I mean, we want to enjoy the beautiful game. It ended 1-0 in favor of Cruzeiro, but we saw what turned out: 23 players getting the red card. But since we are talking about betting now, imagine an investor carrying that game and saying no red card, and we ended up seeing 23 red cards. In 1 minute, just one particular time, 90 plus 6, 23 players, were red carded, and it was really, really bad. That's not what we want to be seeing in Big 2026. players like Org. I mean, yes.
I would not be surprised if one of those players that got the red card instigated it because somebody has spoken to him behind the scene.
Well, how will he not involve the other 22?
No, the thing is, we know football is a very emotional game.
Yeah.
There is a way people will work on their emotions on the field of play that you overreact. And you know, these are two big rivals in a cup final. So any small thing brings a lot of combustion. So I know what to say in that situation that will incense people and will make you mad and you will go gaga. You will not be able to control yourself.
Yeah.
And that's it. So that's what they work on.
It was really bad. I mean, the goalkeeper that even started the whole thing, I know the player was trying to look for a penalty, and then you put your two knees, on the player, and of course, his teammates will come for him. They will come and defend him, and I mean, it turned out to be very, very bad. Even old heads like Org, you remember Org played for Porto and also Zenit St. Petersburg. He was there. I was a lot of WWE punches, and I mean, it was really bad right there. But quickly, let's move on and let's talk about the FA Cup. And this time around, we saw the quarterfinal draw, and we have some exciting matches. Yes, Mayowa said in his intro that he and his missus are, they are plotting what is going to happen with Manchester City. Yes, they will face Liverpool, while Chelsea hosts a League One side, Port Vale, and Southampton will take on Arsenal at St. Mary's. And the winner of West Ham United against Brentford, well, it's been decided already because West Ham, yes, they defeated Brentford on penalties, and they will face Leeds United. And of course, Arsenal will play, if Arsenal should defeat Southampton, they will play the winner between West Ham and Leeds United. Mayowa is looking like if Manchester City can, negotiate Liverpool, they might face Chelsea in the semi-final. Maybe you should tell the missus now that it might be looking more difficult than usual for Manchester City to get a quadruple this season.
Well, I will not say that because my dinner is at risk. I will not say that. She's eyeing me right now. I will not say that. I will not say that.
Don't worry, it's easy.
But in any case, I think if you want to beat the best, you have to beat the best.
Of course.
And in as much as, we throw stone at Liverpool and the rest of that, they are still one of the best teams in England. And if a Man City will win anything, will probably do well in the FA Cup. They have to go past, a Liverpool side. Liverpool at the moment, they are shaking. Yes, they won their game, but, it has been an up and down performance. Man City also is not the Man City of old. So definitely, it's a battle of two things that are not consistent. I think probably it's an opportunity for a Guardiola to show that he still got it. And this is also an opportunity for a Slot to show he still got it. So I think it will be a 50-50 game. I think the best person on that particular day wins. The underdog in the next round, Port Vale and Southampton, they've done a very great job. I was just feeling bad for Wrexham. I thought Wrexham would have gone far, but they're not there. I'm hoping one of this underdog probably makes it to the semi-final. I want to see an underdog probably be in the final of the FA Cup this season.
Yeah, it's a joy of the FA Cup. We know how the FA Cup can be. There must be a giant killing team, and Port Vale, knocking out Sunderland, and also Southampton knocking out Fulham. And of course, Wrexham, they did all they could against Chelsea, but unfortunately, that red card, put Chelsea in the driving seat, and it ended 4-2. It was a thrilling game between West Ham and Brentford as well. I mean, I saw one of the, I don't know what Dango Ouattara was planning with that Panenka. What kind of penalty was that? The keeper did not even have to move. Areola did not even have to move. I don't understand what kind of penalty. In 2026, why are you trying that kind of penalty, Mayowa?
He was possessed by the spirit of Brian Diaz. He was possessed by the spirit of Brian Diaz.
That was very poor.
What were you thinking? What were you thinking? How can you play? I don't understand. And to be honest with you, even if Areola did not catch that ball, people probably hit the bar and go out. What were you thinking?
He was practicing crossbar challenge.
That kind of crucial game. I think the club should go very hard on him. If they put all his colleagues into consideration, it is lack of emotional intelligence. How do you put the hard work of your team? How do you throw it away with an unnecessary Panenka? How? I think he should be punished, to be honest with you.
Absolutely. Of course, let's round up with the UEFA Champions League. And this time around, a man is talking tough. Ademola Lookman of course, Atletico Madrid. He is gearing up for a thrilling UEFA Champions League round of 16 clash against Tottenham Hotspur as Atletico Madrid's club hosts the English side at the Wanda Metropolitano in Madrid. And Lookman, who has reinvented himself as one of Europe's most dangerous forwards, has been impressive in his first 6 starts for Atletico, scoring 4 goals and providing 2 assists. Not bad at all. And the Nigerian forward has a personal subplot in this match because he has spent time in England with Everton, Leicester City, and also in London where Tottenham are based. He also played with Fulham, and he had a modest record against Tottenham while playing for those clubs. However, Lookman's recent form suggests he's ready to make a statement, having scored a hat-trick in the 2024 UEFA Europa League final with Atalanta. I mean, also one of the big games going on tonight, Atletico Madrid up against Tottenham Hotspur. We're also seeing Galatasaray, who will be playing Liverpool. Nigerian players heavily involved with English sides. One for Turkish club, Galatasaray, Victor Osimhen, and of course, the other, Ademola Lookman, up against Tottenham Hotspur. Which of these games do you think is going to make a great one tonight, Mayowa? Because also Newcastle against Barcelona, we saw what happened in the league phase. 2 games that happened in the league phase, by the way. One is Galatasaray against Liverpool. Galatasaray won that game, at the Rams Park, scored by Victor Osimhen, the penalty. And of course, Newcastle up against Barcelona, 2 goals from Marcus Rashford, who is also going to be with the Spanish side tonight as they go against St. James's Park. Which of these games do you think the results might not go with what happened in the league phase?
I think the Liverpool-Galatasaray game will be a very difficult game. Liverpool has a bone to pick with Galatasaray. And, I think if they put that together, they have the quality to be able to dispatch, a Galatasaray side. For Barcelona, Newcastle United, you don't know the Newcastle you get. If you get the consistent Newcastle, it's going to be very, very difficult. Barcelona also has been struggling to score goals. They barely won their game over the weekend. And, that might come into bear. Rashford is back. Can he do it again this night?
Okay. We lost Mayowa on that one. Of course, hopefully Marcus Rashford will be able to, get goals again this evening, when they take on Newcastle United, at the St. James's Park. With that, we'll be wrapping up on the show for Locker Room this evening. And of course, I want to say a very big thank you to Mayowa Alao, for joining me on the show this evening. And of course, also the people in the back for also, doing a great job and making this show come to life. Of course, up next is Political Lens with Chukwuma Okoro. It's been Locker Room. I'm Afiz Ogubanjo, and I'm saying stay tuned and also have a wonderful rest of the day. Bye for now.
Africa is on the move, a continent of rising voices, untold stories, and powerful transformations. From the streets of Lagos to the heart of Nairobi, from the mines of Congo to the tech labs of Cape Town, the African story is being written every day. Bold, dynamic, unstoppable. This is Africa News on Voice of the People Television. We don't just bring you the news. We analyze and bring you Africa's heartbeat, the politics that shapes our nations, the economies that drives our future, the cultures that defines who we are, the voice that must be heard. Africa News, Africa's voice, Africa's future. Where Africa speaks, the world listens.
In a world where truth is the ultimate power and opinions scream the loudest, it's time to wade through the noise.
Hunger no get tribe! Hunger no get religion!
And scan the human interest and trending topics that matter. Stay tuned to The Issues, your plug to the stories making the buzz, from politics to science and technology, social justice, and more. Let's tackle the tough questions and expose the truth. The Issues on Voice of the People Television, Mondays to Fridays, 8 to 9 p.m. The Issues. Don't just react. Understand.
Are you
ready for the extraordinary? Something big is happening on your screen. Introducing VOP TV. Now streaming on SLTV channel 264. From breaking news to captivating conversations, news analysis, giving you all sides to the story. We bring in-depth discussions on the issues that matter, from politics to sports, entertainment, and lifestyle. VOP TV on SLTV channel 264. Join us as we redefine what television means to you. Voice of the People Television. VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice.
We encourage you to click on the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are Voice of the People TV. Also follow us on all our social media platforms. We are at VOP TV Live. Visit our website www.vop.ng for fresh and trending news. Also watch us live on SLTV channel 264. VOP TV, Voice of the People Television.
VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice. Join us as we drive into the world of politics through insightful interviews with prominent political figures, both serving and former governors, ministers, senators, legislators, party chieftains, activists, and analysts. Get first-hand information into the decision-making processes that affect our daily lives. Highly engaging one-hour program that brings political discourse into focus.
I am Chukwuma Okoro.
Political Lens, Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. Join us.
Tinubu identifies agents of instability in Nigeria. Its clampdown on opposition a sign of weakness or strength. Fresh controversy in Senate as Natasha's name is dropped from Senate foreign trip to United Nations conference. Alarm as federal government revenue drops despite increase in oil prices. Good evening and welcome to Political Lens. I am Chukwuma Okoro. Now, what I read out are the major topics of discussion. Now, let's bring in our guests. We've been joined virtually by Prince Nixon Okwara. Nixon is a APC chieftain, as well as Honorable Destiny Enabulele, who is a PDP chieftain and a former local government chairman and former member Edo State House of Assembly. Gentlemen, thanks for your presence on Political Lens this evening.
Thanks, Mr. Okoro, for having me.
Beautiful.
Thank you, Chukuma. Thank you very much.
Thank you, gentlemen. I appreciate your presence. Now, let's quickly run into it. President Bola Tinubu has assured Nigerians that the nation will never allow agents of instability to undermine its peace, unity, and sovereignty. The president gave the assurance while hosting religious and traditional rulers for an interfaith breaking of the fast at the State House, Abuja, acknowledging their critical roles in promoting peace, stability, and moral guidance within their communities. Prince Nixon, let me quickly run to you. You are a high-ranking member of the APC, and I know that you play along that corridor. You know, people, you are very close to people in government, people in power. At this point, I would like for you to help us contextualize the president's comment when he says that he will not allow agents of instability, you know, to disturb the peace and unity of Nigerians. What peace and unity is he talking about? Is there peace in the land? Isn't the country already destabilized with the killings across the country? And the fact that at some point we seem to have outsourced our security to United States, France, and Turkey, here, all coming from the president's spokesperson. Whenever you ask them about the killings and all of that, they tell you, well, we are collaborating with the United States, we are collaborating with France and Turkey. Mr. Okwara, Prince Nixon, can you help us make sense of what the president says, that he will not allow agents of instability to destabilize the peace and unity that we have in this country at this point?
The president, we know, President Tinubu understands that discipline is the backbone of every reform he wants to give to Nigerians. And he said it point blank. He's not hiding it. He's somebody when you know him and his political willpower. He says it the way it is. And apart from him saying it, we all should understand that there is no government anywhere in the world that will just fold his hands and watch agents of destability sabotage his own government administration within these walls. So he said it obviously, and that's the way it is. When you look at his history, President Bola Tinubu has been somebody who believes in institutional discipline and stability. And his days in Lagos has been able to demonstrate that when you look at the local government administration, irrespective of the challenges he had during the early democracy days of Nigeria, he was able to stabilize Lagos.
The Prince.
And you find out that...
the Prince, I hate to button at this point, please, and I would like for you to hold on to your line of thought. You need to adjust your camera frame, probably landslide, so that we can get a better frame of you. You are cutting off.
Okay. Are you seeing me now?
Yes, it's quite better. It's better. It's better. Thank you very much. Please go ahead. Sorry for that interruption.
Okay, very well. So the fact is that he will not want to, from what he has done in Lagos, it is not surprising that he does not tolerate these people and is doing his best. Let us, apart from the political part of it, those who want to use the form of opposition to try to destabilize Nigeria, when you look at the other banditry and insecurity and the manner he's going about it, you find out that he means well. This is a man that when he took over the administration, Abuja was almost overrun. The entire southeast, many people were unable to travel back home. So many parts of the Nigerian roads were impassable because of security challenges. We saw that even Lagos State at a point that we discovered that some of the terrorists were moving down to the southwest, southeast, and almost part of the whole Nigeria. We, unfortunately, from the same party, we had the president who handed over such a situation to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. But you had his position. He was like, don't pity me, I'm not giving excuses. And for one day, you never heard him blame any past administration, either the administration of President Buhari or the predecessors. Rather, he has taken responsibility, and he will always tell you that apply for this job, nobody better me to apply for it, and I'm ready for it. And he has demonstrated that.
Okay.
All right. The area that a lot of people, you find out that one could say that is something that he has no control over, because if you look at the way the positions are building in the form of the if he doesn't take charge like the way he's taking charge, I bet you these people are capable of derailing these governments in so many ways.
All right, so, the Prince, you have said quite a lot. Now, you are talking about the opposition and the fact that the president doesn't want the country to be destabilized. A lot of Nigerians are asking, at this point, is the country not already destabilized? I say that in light of the fact that the president, in his own words, at that interfaith meeting, said, yes, we are challenged. The terrorists are very desperate now because they are getting barraged and defeated. They leave trails of blood in their wake. But I assure you of one thing, that's according to the president, Nigeria will never surrender. We are not discouraged. We are going on to win and win well. The Prince, are we winning the war on terror? In 2 full years of Tinubu's administration, according to Statistens, I'm sure that you know Statistens, an independent agency that conducts surveys about issues in Nigeria, recorded over 22,460 conflict-related fatalities. 2 full years of Tinubu's administration. Now, according to that report, the figures covering 2024 and 2025 show a sharp rise in violent deaths compared to previous administrations. By comparison, 5,528 fatalities were recorded during Obasanjo's first 2 years, 2000 to 2001. 3,190 under President Umaru Musa Yar'Adua, 2008 and 2009. 5,467 during President Goodluck Jonathan's tenure, 2011 to 2012. And 9,385 under President Muhammadu Buhari, the man that you claim handed over problems to Bola Ahmed Tinubu, 2016 and 2027 and 2017. But in just 2 years of Tinubu's administration, 22,640 Nigerians have been killed in cold blood. And you give us the impression that the president is making progress. What kind of progress would that be, the Prince?
There's one proverb, thank you very much. There's one proverb in Igbo land. We say that it is not the period you cut the tree that it dries up. You see, the barrage of problems President Tinubu inherited was so much that they were at its peak. Like I said before, Nigeria were totally 100% overrun by the insurgency before he took over this. And the sharp rise was expected because if you look at the figures you gave out here now, they were on the gradual rise. administration after administration. And 2 years is too short for you to win the war of guerrilla warfare in this circumstance, especially under a democratic institutional framework, which Nigeria is presently operating. And mind you that there were circumstances that kind of concerned or attributed to this present Nigerian the peculiarities with other his predecessors. One is that, as at this time you were talking about, we didn't see the push around the Sahel. We didn't see the war you are seeing around the energy corridors. On one of your programs here, maybe last year or so, you recall when I said that with what is happening, that the war is coming to Africa, and Nigeria is a gateway to Africa, so we might be the worst hit. When you look at what's going on presently all over the world, the energy corridor of the world, if you don't have proxy war, you have a full-blown war, and that has been on for a while. It is not Nigeria. And the act of terrorism is peculiar when it comes to all these corridors. If you look at from Niger Delta, Benue State, the Sahel, Lake Chad, move to the Middle East, they are going back to even to the part of Afghanistan, Ukraine, and the rest of it all. So this is the energy base of the world. That is where the whole economy. So it is beyond just what Nigeria can just overcome. And when President Buhari handed over to the President Tinubu, a lot of them saw that Tinubu had the willpower, and his policies were that could act. There are those who believe that they are the owners of Nigeria, and Nigeria cannot move forward without them. And these things are part of the kind of mindsets that fuel insecurity in Nigeria. And don't forget the fact that recently the names of the people that the Americans seize their assets, and these are the ones we know. You look at where these people come from and the kind of things. You should understand why this terrorism is peculiar in the terrorism is peculiar in certain area, and in Nigeria has some internal collaboration and conspiracies that is beyond what can be tamed in 2 years. But let me assure you that President Tinubu is not going to take this thing beyond 2027. By 2028, why you see this rise is that there are some elements who believe in violent takeover. Once the government is not going through this, what I call them, a kind of a coalition of
all right, the prince. Okay, I understand. We need to move on because we have a lot of grounds to cover. I like the fact that you talked about the fact that, well, this case, Nigeria is not an isolated case. And you talked about the energy crisis that feeds the war and all of that. But it's curious. Nigerians are asking, is Nigeria the only one, affected in all of this? When you talk about Sahel, our neighbors, Ghana, Benin, Togo, Niger, even Cameroon, they are not going through all that we are going through at this moment. And you also talked about the fact that, well, I hope that the assurance you have given us that Nigerians can take that to the bank. Let's bring Comrade Destiny Nabulele into this conversation and let him give us his opinion about what is happening. The comrade, good evening once again. Now, how can the president be talking about peace and unity when we have over 600,000 Benue indigenes living in IDP camps in their own homeland, driven away from their native lands? By who? By terrorists. Foreign terrorists. The government tells us that these people are foreign terrorists that are occupying our own native lands. Several times we have the president's handlers say, well, the chief of army staff, former chief of defense staff, who is now minister of defense, says, these foreigners, these terrorists are foreigners. Yet the president is talking about peace, unity, and stability. When these issues are framed around farmer-header clash, and we have foreign terrorists living in our own lands, and our own people are living in IDP camps, what kind of peace and unity is the president talking about? Can you help us understand all of this?
Yeah, Mr. Okoro, let me appreciate you and appreciate your platform and greet my brother from the other side of the political divide. You see, it is regrettable. The president, I've said it in this platform, that the man is a smart man, but he's not intelligent. That is the gospel truth. You can take it to the bank. Over time, I must say this very quickly, our president is good in politics, but not in governance. That is a gospel truth. I think it was one of his special advisors, or what they call them, Daniel Boala on media and policy, whatever, that once said that if you like, give President Tinubu 30 years, he cannot do anything meaningful in the Nigerian architecture. We have seen it. Few months from now to be 3 years in office. So what he is saying in the nutshell, he's not talking about the killings. He's talking about the terrorism. He's talking about how he can secure the next election. All that enveloped him, as we speak very just now. He's more concerned about the 2027 presidential election. At any rate, who are those that are causing, or rather destabilizing this country? Is it not his party, members and party faithful, his co-travelers? Wike, on the other hand, went to Rivers. There was a fracas between him and his governor that he said he wanted to use the stadium, challenging the governor, a sitting governor, a minister. At a point in the FCT, you've had Wike SSs challenging whether retired or generals and what have you. That's enough to cause chaos in this country. Like in my own state, my very revered dear state, Edo State, you can see what his governor that he has put there, and his and the deputy who's WAEC is through the help of a third party, are causing in our dear state, intimidating, coercing, and frontally of the oppositions. You saw what happened to the former governor in his own domain. That is Professor Sarime Osumbo, when he was having meeting with the ADC party faithful. You saw what happened. You saw what happened to John Odigwe Oyegun when Peter the former governor Obi visited Edo State. It's a few posts from government house. Then the other side you have our sage Chief Osawa Benedium. Oyegun House is opposite the elite club, that is Benin Club.
The comrade, we understand. I mean, the governor and his men framed this around issues within the ADC. I mean, they said it was because the ADC in Edo State is having problems.
Mr. Okoro, we must say...
While I recognize the fact that might have been some kind of problem in Edo State, I want us to look at the issue of insecurity and the fact that the president is saying, well, there is peace and unity in the land, and we don't want agents of destabilization, agents to come and destabilize this country. And I just asked you a question about 600,000 people living in IDP camps in their own homelands. Our president is talking about peace. What kind of peace do you see? Farmers, headers driven away from their homelands.
Mr. Okoro, I must be very frank with you.